SportsGrid. Welcome in to what could be a great one. All in the eye of the beholder, of course. Kevin Walsh, Donnie Rightside, and Joe Lisi, the San Francisco 49ers and the Detroit Lions. Please allow me to set the stage right now. In some spots, the number on the Lions is climbing up to 4. Your total is at 50.5. Though we're sitting here getting ready for our show, we said, let's keep our eyes on the competition. Why not? I'm tuning in on a little ESPN. They're out there on the field. Maybe they've got what we like to call intel. Marcus Spears, Swagoo, shout out to him, said he switched his pick to the 49ers. They were watching Laporta warm up, and it doesn't look like he's going to play much. He does not believe Dan Campbell. Now, maybe you've been under a rock and have no idea what I'm talking about. This game for the Detroit Lions is one of the most meaningless football games in NFL history. This doesn't impact anything. Next week, they play for the 1st seed or the 5th seed. That is not even slightly damaged by this game. I'm not even sure this game will impact their draft position. In fact, I'm pretty sure it won't. This means nothing. So, Donnie, we think the Detroit Lions tonight, maybe a quarter, maybe a half, maybe a drive, and it seems like those in the stadium tonight think the same could be happening.
Yes, and, proceed with caution, as we like to say, because we don't know. We're not involved in the coaches' meetings and stuff, but understand this. Detroit's goal is to win the Super Bowl. Detroit's goal is to win next week. They are already hamstrung in this game, pun intended, if they get an injury, because why? Minnesota is sitting at home right now, already preparing for the Detroit Lions, who are in a football game thousands of miles away. Am I saying they should sit everybody? No, because you can't do that in the NFL. But you need to sit key guys, even if you want to get them warmed up, send them out on the football field, have them play a few snaps, get them out. Because I don't care how rough and tough and gritty Detroit is, and this is how we are. Understand this, Dan Campbell. You might be fired by tomorrow morning if you get key players injured tonight. And as Kevin said, one of the most meaningless quote-unquote big-time football games we will ever see with what's on deck, Joe.
Yeah, great points. I can't argue with the fact that you got to rest your players, especially Jahmyr Gibbs, knowing that David Montgomery's out for the rest of the year. Rushing attack, Reynolds, the backup, should get some burn in terms of this matchup. The wide receivers, we know St. Brown and obviously Sam Laporta are key cogs and mainstays and targets in that offense, but you might want to work maybe Tim Patrick and some of the secondary guys in the second half of this matchup. Granted, I think there is a little motivation knowing that they lost to this team, but at the end of the day, your goal is to get the number 1 overall seed. That's next week against a team you already beat, Minnesota 31-29 earlier in the year. We'll see how this plays out. This is, I always say the books have that info before we do. Yeah. The fact that they're keeping Jared Goff at 247.5, again, huge numbers across the board. They can't go half. But, they didn't trim him at all. So I am curious, guys, how this game does play out the rest of the way.
There was movement against some of those numbers. It is Niners football to start this game, by the way. There was movement, though, against those numbers in the market. There was. Not a lot.
Right.
But let me just say this, all right? You and I know we're betting bowl games, all right? Cam Ward had a passing prop of 275. On one book, 300. Now, you could tell within the numbers there was some protection there. They weren't offering up true unders, which typically they do. They knew.
Right.
But they didn't hang 185.5. He's going to play a half of football.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I'm not saying that this is what you said, Joe, but there are people out there who think books know everything. Like Dan Campbell called up Vegas and said, I'm playing everybody.
Yeah.
That's not the case. Books will be surprised, but more often than not, Donnie, if Dan Campbell pulls everybody, they're pop bottles and might put his jersey up in the rafters because there's going to be a lot of parlays that'll go to sleep because they're not going to get full workload.
Correct. And also, just understanding this, I thought it was interesting that Detroit won the toss tonight but did defer. I thought if they won the toss, they might have took it just to get the offense out there, get them warmed up, get them in and out. So that's an interesting number. Also, Deebo Samuel started at tailback tonight. Juwan Jennings did not start at wide receiver. Instead, it was Conley and also Ricky Pearsall. And now you're seeing the third touch of the game already by Deebo Samuel on the first drive. Very interesting how this is playing.
Yeah, so he got some burn in terms of the wide receiver game last week. He got into the 60s. They utilized him in terms of the
Deebo?
Yeah.
Oh, he's at like 90.
90.
Yeah, he went wild.
Yeah, so in the loss to Miami. So obviously from that Thursday night game where he was ineffective, he's starting to show a little bit of consistency at the end of the year. The fact that he's starting at running back, he's going to get multiple touches. Curious to see how the passing attack does play out for Brock Purdy. I did take a shot. Brock Purdy, 275 plus tonight at plus money out of both quarterbacks. I believe in Brock Purdy more than I believe in Jared Goff tonight. But again, we'll see.
Purdy moving the football right down the field here on the Detroit Lions on this first drive. I stayed away from Kittle at this point, but we did take that, or at least I took the bet here on the quarterback position. Who's going to throw for more yards, whether it's Jared Goff or Brock Purdy. Just thinking that Brock Purdy can have a good night regardless, but if you're going to get one quarterback that's going to play 4 quarters, one that might play 3 or less per se, I like those odds, and I'll put those in my favor here. We'll just see how it plays. And also Ricky Pearsall over 21.5 receiving yards. Not necessarily a handicap, but just projecting, saying if you're out of it, he's a first-round pick, he's healthy, get him some looks tonight.
I'm on Pearsall as well, and that guy's offsides. Like way offsides, or that's the worst line in the history of lines that they've ever put. Pearsall's going to throw it?
No, he's going to run.
What does that do for me?
Yeah.
Easy.
Pop pass?
So my thing with Pearsall, Donnie, right? The future of the Niners offense, he's got the most secure future of the whole team. McCaffrey, who knows? Kittle a little bit older. We don't know if Purdy will be back. The offseason's fast approaching, so Debo trade rumors are right around the corner.
Right around the corner.
Ayuk is injured. Ricky Pearsall's the only guy I could promise you is on the Niners in 2 years.
Yeah.
I'm serious. On terms of the offensive side of the football, Joe, you have to get this kid work to me, and you're going up against the Lions team who we know is vulnerable to – I mean, look at this drive.
Yeah, and he's multi-talented and versatile in terms of, he can run the football as well the way Debo can, not maybe out of the backfield, but on reverses and fly sweeps. So we'll see how this plays out. Garendo looking strong as well. They go up 7-0. Curious to see what Detroit does offensively.
Love the idea that's like the Lions are giving it their all. Yeah, this is what the all looks like from that defense.
Like, what happens if, again, the Lions say they're giving it all and get housed in this football game? That's not great for psyche going into next week.
We'll be right back here. Niners driving.
In the heart of winter, when nights grow long, we come together under these lights. A team, united by purpose. Fans, bound by passion. Each holding a small flicker of hope in their hands. At SportsGrid, we believe that even the darkest nights can't dim the unity we share. One team, one stadium, one shining moment. This holiday season, we shine brighter together. Happy Hanukkah from all of us at SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Blocked well and tries to cut through the middle. Oh!
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
right, we're driving.
Fight!
And we're fighting a little bit.
Fight night.
DRS, give the people an idea what's going on.
Juwan Jennings just put somebody into the first row, and then a combo was thrown at Juwan Jennings. Fantastic stuff. Personal fouls all over the place. Chippiness, exactly what you want for Detroit. Fight, get thrown out, have some fun, offsetting penalties. Fantastic. So how do you throw punches and knocking guys into the first row, but then no wear and tear? How's that happen?
Yeah, no ejections, no nothing there. Apparently, this was a part of the script. Like, it's very funny.
Long drive, too, to start the game.
But Donnie, an instance like that, right?
Yeah.
For a rational thinking person.
Yes.
Let me get my guys out of here, man. Niners have nothing to play for. We are not going to get out here.
True.
We're not getting guys ejected. We're not getting guys injured. We're not dealing with cheap shots. But Lisi, the Dan Campbell MO might be like,
this is exactly what
they want
we
to
needed.
fight? All right, we'll fight. Hey, Ben, best trick play you got. Best trick play you got, running 4 straight times.
Purdy's dealing. Is he dealing?
Ooh, Pearsall?
Ricky? Oh, they didn't give him the teeter? Come on now.
I didn't bet the
Bad eyes out there. Bad eyes.
I didn't bet the touchdown. I'm all right with that.
What was more yards? You would have got another yard. That's a touchdown, by the way. No, wait. What?
You know what's going to happen?
Tough scene.
I like when NFL teams do this.
Yeah.
They won't challenge it.
Okay.
They're like, we're going to score.
Yes.
It's so funny to me, and I know it's tough because the fact that, call stands is the...
He doesn't have possession until
But if he calls it a touchdown, it's auto-reviewed.
Yes, correct.
But you know how they taught everyone to, hey, listen, call everything a fumble?
But see, I don't agree with that at times because if you call everything a touchdown, they go, we really can't tell anyway. But you called it automatically a touchdown when you didn't think it might have been one just to get it reviewed.
Points.
I like it, yeah. I mean, it's like the referee going like this right now, just the automatic touch.
Replay assistance.
Replay assist. Ricky Pearsall. What did he pay in this game for a touchdown?
Wow.
Now I'm annoyed.
Wow.
Yeah, he was... I looked at everything.
Yes.
18-1 first quarter touchdown.
Wow.
Plus 850 first half touchdown.
Man.
I believe. See, I don't want to. Ungats? Is that what I'm sitting with right now?
That's it.
Yep. Joey Gagoots.
That's it.
11 plays, 61 yards. Who actually came to play tonight? Now, is this bad for Detroit where it's like, now we got to play the whole game because Dan Campbell doesn't want to be embarrassed?
What if? Listen, we're not fools, but it's a lot easier to tell if the offense isn't out there than if the defense. What if that is the backup defense? We don't have the broadcast on.
Yeah.
They might be talking about it.
Yeah.
People might be screaming, Donnie, at home watching us saying,
he's beating the fourth corner. What do you want?
Lisi, what do you do? Let's move to the odds.
What do we got?
I'm stunned. What do you think the number is? Don't look if you haven't.
I just looked.
All right. Donnie, don't look. I know you because I can see.
For what, total or side?
Spread. It was 3.5 pregame.
Niners -1.5.
Lions -1.5. I'm stunned by that.
Wow.
You don't flip them the favorites. What a drive, Lisi.
Come on.
Yeah, but maybe they don't know. We got to see if Jared Goff and the team walk out there. They go right down the field and score in about 2 minutes. Then, again, it'll be up to 3.5, 4 again.
Pop the helmets.
Pop the helmets.
Yep.
Get out of here.
That's it.
Good work.
All right.
I need Juwan
Purdy
Jennings
with a 34-yard lead now on that's what we're playing. Where's the calculator tonight, boys?
Brock
Let's
Purdy,
go.
34 yards so far.
Pearsall with a big 3. So what's that, 18 away from that number, Joe? We should have altered him to 12.5.
I didn't take him yet, to be honest. I didn't touch him.
Are you ready now to ramp up?
Yeah, I see.
Looks like he's going to be involved all night, Joe. Just saying.
All right.
Only on Pearsall Grid right now.
Pearsall.
Come on. I just can't wait for this drive. I don't know. I'm already at halftime mentally.
I love it. This was supposed to be a game where it's like, this is a throwaway. We got to get to this weekend. And even talking about next Sunday's action was like, it's going to be this might be the best week we've had on the grid. Now, profitability might be a little bit different, but analyzing and having fun and guessing on which way you think a coach is going to go, might be the best game of the year. Let's do it.
I am so excited. It's funny because I wasn't sure how passionate I would be about what he should do.
Yes.
Because sometimes you kind of got to, you got to see the scenario.
Yeah.
He is really insane if he plays a full game. It's indefensible. It is.
Yes.
Are there, the Saquon, we'll talk about a lot of stuff tonight.
Yes.
Especially if we get Hendon Hooker in this game. I understand why people think Saquon should play. History is history. Records are records. The Lions aren't playing for literally anything in this game.
Nothing.
Donnie, you've been battling on Twitter today.
Yes.
What is the defense for the Lions playing?
Revenge for last year getting beat by San Francisco. Now, you might even be able to buy it in. It was like, you know what? San Francisco loses, they're out. We're going to put it on them so they get our feeling. There's no feeling tonight. There's no feelings tonight. And they're showing Dan Campbell on TV right now talking about how much they're excited to play in this game all the way through full gas.
Also, like, I imagine that most of the people thinking that is because they don't know and they think home field is on the line tonight. We'll be right back. Lions Drive.
Home court.
In the heart of winter, when nights grow long, we come together under these lights. A team, united by purpose. Fans bound by passion. Each holding a small flicker of hope in their hands. At SportsGrid, we believe that even the darkest nights can't dim the unity we share. One team, one stadium, one shining moment. This holiday season, we shine brighter together. Happy Hanukkah from all of us at SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
He's blocked well and tries to cut through the middle. Oh!
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Back right here on SportsGrid. Opening play, Donnie, goes to Jamison Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Then run.
Yeah. First down.
All right, one set of downs, Lisi. Get these guys out of here.
No, stop. Laporta.
Get a clean look downfield.
Take a look at Laporta.
Deep shot city.
We're getting all his carries in early here. There you go.
This is the thing.
Yep.
DR, it's just
Yes.
for people for the process.
Yes, correct.
The reason attempts as opposed to yardage, I know it's on display, but just talk people through it.
Because the reason I went, because the thought process for me is I use the 20 marker, even though it's 18 and a half. If he gets 20 carries, it's ludicrous. That should never happen. But we understand he is an explosive player. And if you're saying, well, why don't I just take like under 15 and a half yards as my longest rush? He probably just got it there. Or he can bust, or I have under a touchdown prop. He can get that on one carry or one swing pass out of the backfield. So I went longevity of the game. I'm betting that he is not going to be in this football game late third quarter to get his 20th carry of the night tonight. That was my angle on it here. So that's how I played it. But yes, from a perspective of you might get 4 carries for 88 yards, like, oh, I just blew it. And then he's out of the game. You're like, well, why don't I just take the under rushing prop? But if he does get 22 rushes for 146 and 28 touches, hey, that's what they do.
Yeah, that's a good. I mean, it is a good bet if you're banking on them being out in the second half. Then you take the attempts, and then take the attempts in under on golf if that's what you believe.
Yeah, it's one of those games, Lisi, where you try. It's like I like every bet, right? Because of a direction and. Kind of just an angle you're not prepared for. Let me tell you this, as many receptions as you want for this guy right here.
It's beautiful. And all the way down, too.
Yeah.
Who is it, anyway?
That's backup running back Craig Reynolds in the receiving
Craig.
game.
Looking good. Don't get injured, Craig, tonight now. Come on now.
Oh, this is going to...
Sione Vitaki, is that the other guy? Who's the backup?
Yeah.
Sione? Yeah, let's go.
I am just telling you, The perfect scenario, if I am Dan Campbell,
Yes.
is one drive, touchdown, thanks. And he is about to get it.
Yes.
You,
And maybe just give it to Gibbs.
like you said, I remember the Eagle game last year.
Mm-hmm.
The thought process was, look, man, let us just,
Get right.
punch the Giants a little bit, and they played terribly.
Yes.
Right? So if Dan Campbell were to come out 3 and out,
Yes.
pick, like, I don't like the way my guys are right now. I want to
Yes.
see something good.
Correct.
Like, knife like a butter, Lisi. Cool, guys. Let's move on. That's the perfect scenario.
Yeah.
It is the perfect scenario, but the
But you
longer
don't
this
care.
game comes out, and that doesn't happen, can I just say I'm gonna? This is gonna be good sitting
Wait,
on
this
the
guy's
desk.
Jefferson in the backfield right now, I believe.
No, come on.
Yeah, that's what it said.
No, it can't. Who?
I thought it said Jefferson.
I don't see Amon
Who's
Ra
this?
out there.
Who-
They might have already head tapped Donnie. Who is that?
Who is it? Is it?
Jamar Jefferson.
Yes, I told you. Like, I don't even know who that guy is.
Penny Sewell out there? He's out there. Who's out there? Move it around.
Skipper's coming out of the game. Why is he coming out of the game now? What's going on out
That's
here?
our lead. That's our lead.
Yeah.
Who is Jamar Jefferson
I
now?
love this. This is great. This is great.
Let me tell you, there's wagers in the back on Craig
Yeah.
Reynolds. If the first touch went not Gibbs' way, but also not Reynolds' way,
Yes.
that would have been a tough look.
Who's in the backfield? Jefferson! Oh, I'm liking this. What are we doing here? All right. Hand it off again to my boy. Get in there, Jeff. No more Oh, where are you going? He's going for pay dirt. Yeah, he gets in. We save maybe a completion to somebody. Come on.
This is great.
Man.
I knew this was going to be a fun
Yes.
game. I knew this is a whole different animal, Lise.
This is it. You're
Lacey.
banking on backups.
Hendon Hooker.
And then Hendon Hooker rolls
Here's
out there.
what I like.
Ultim up to 250.
Touchdown, right? Touchdown. And then Hendon Hooker comes out. What does the line do? I don't know.
Is that Jefferson still out there? Who is that?
No, that's Gibbs.
That's Gibbs. All right.
Here comes a sweet reverse jet action. Oh my goodness. Just end this whole thing already.
Oh, it's a run, too. Get in there. Get in there.
Move.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a great drive. That's a great handshakes,
Love to see it.
handshakes,
Love to see it.
handshakes.
All right. Get him off the field,
Handshakes.
boys. Get him off the
Move
field.
it along. Move it along.
Wasn't even a
Love it.
reception. Love to see it.
Love to see.
He had more rush attempts than receptions on that drive.
Yep.
Lisi, what'd you get out of Sorry.
No, I do. What I get out?
What'd you get out of Laporte on that drive? Anything?
Nothing. You know what?
Time's
It's all
ticking.
right.
Time's ticking on him.
It's all right. Let's see. This is the type of bet I actually like because I might be having the last laugh by the end of the game, and the longer that they stay in there,
Yeah.
you're going to get frustrated.
You're
You know
right.
what I need to watch, too, is what is
love it.
the touchdown score anytime number for
Whoa!
Gibbs? Ooh, block.
Whoa!
Are we going to the house?
Give him a block.
We're going to
Ready,
the house?
W. Oh, my
Whoa,
God. What a tackle. Now, who was that?
I mean, is that an athlete or not?
I mean, I play on my team any day with a tackle. 2.5 point spread right now. Total 55 and a hook, Lisi climbing.
That's it. Like a knife through butter. They
They're
went through that.
They're not
Jeez.
adjusting much, is all I'm saying.
I need to see that Gibbs anytime touchdown, which is locked right now. Like, that's – if you were banking on drive number 1, they're going to score. That's him and Jefferson, who I never heard of, got a couple carries. So there you go.
They have a prop on Craig Reynolds, 22.5 rushing now.
Whoa.
Yards.
Well, explain yourself if you're the book, in my opinion.
Yes.
What is that number?
For who?
Why Craig Reynolds 22.5 rushing if everybody else is going to get booked normally?
What
right?
Craig Reynolds usually have?
That's what I'm about to look. Well, we're only going to
Do
have
you ever get his numbers?
1 week to go off of. Hold on, let me look what they did last week.
All right, Jameer Gibbs down to -210 anytime.
Well, now, and again, I mean, hashtag explain your last week against the Bears in a pretty much of a blowout, 4 for 18.
Yes.
So I would say right now, a competitive game, 2.5 point spread. Jamar Jefferson's working in. Craig Reynolds over 22.5 is not a good bet, unless Jameer Gibbs is done for the day. But they're hanging him
He's
at
not.
88.5.
Yeah, but he was just in that last game, that last drive, though, or that last play.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm wondering if in any capacity, like, is Craig Reynolds' numbers popping because they're like, well, what if bench opportunities come in here? Like, it doesn't really make much of any sense
Yeah.
to throw Craig Reynolds at 22.5 is not a cheap number there, Lisi.
Yeah.
No, it's not. But again, if he's going to get, to your point, 10 to 15 carries in the second half.
But again, the Gibbs, but then you play Gibbs 88.5 south, lower.
I can't do that. Can't do it. You can't get me in.
Goose him.
Nope. Sitting on 50-plus rushing for Gibbs.
Like this guy, like this.
So you're not going to get me in.
The Jamar Jefferson played last week at 3 carries, 13 yards.
Okay.
So I'm going to assume now you have Gibbs, Reynolds,
Yeah.
Jefferson,
Yep.
and they're already getting carries. Could be interesting to see how this plays out.
Like, here's the thing. I don't want to go crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, because we don't know enough to
But
put that on there.
Jamar Jefferson opening plays, getting work like that,
Yeah.
that's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. Line's 3.5 now, 55.5 total.
But he got 3 carries, Jamar Gibbs, on that first drive.
Yes.
Which, again, should have been 5 carries, theoretically.
Right. But look, a reception went Craig Reynolds' way as well. Like, you talk about the other backs.
Correct.
Had a nice little drive there. All I'm saying is if you're Dan Campbell, you got everything you needed to close up shop.
Mm-hmm.
You did.
And he's not doing it.
Well, we don't know that yet.
We don't
Joe.
know. We don't know it yet.
We'll
My
find out
heart
soon.
and my body's rooting for it. Keep doing it so I could sit at this desk and watch you stew.
What do you got? Don't worry. You're just going to put another Jawan Jennings bet in.
49.5 in-game total.
Oh,
He almost got thrown out, too. Joe was nervous.
That's it.
Now, since they did him, could you imagine if Lisi's one bet on a guy that isn't a lion over was a Niner that got thrown out?
And it was like the anchor of every parlay, and but he didn't even get hurt. He got thrown out of the game.
Yeah,
for a block.
that would stink.
That would be ridiculous.
That would be horrible.
I wouldn't think that would be funny at all.
No.
I would be not laughing.
You would be. Absolutely.
It's
go,
another
Niners.
Niners drive here. Where's Ricky P? On SportsGrid.
So my team didn't win this weekend, but I still did with this app that's taking over the game. Sports Millions Pick'em lets you make quick and easy predictions. Pick your favorite players, go higher or lower, and you can still win big even if your team loses. Plus, the multiplier is insane. With just a few picks, you can win big money. So get on it. They've got a welcome bonus to help you start off your winning streak.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
He's blocked well and tries to cut through the middle. Oh!
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
like, whoa! How you feeling, Lisi?
Lions watch.
Lisi, I'm fueled right now.
Are you?
I think Lisa's a little nervous over here, though. He was
Yeah,
a little
am I
nervous.
Because you're 3 protein
Yeah.
bars deep compared to my 3 chicken wings. You can't compete. I'm eating for
Let's
real
go.
over here, pal. Ricky's Pearsall threw his number on some books.
Yeah, he is. I need him for 43 more. Could he get there?
It's possible. Pearsall, by the way, the catch of 14 yards.
Yes.
I saw a lot of folks out there, 13 and a half, longest reception.
Boom. Kittle.
Look at Kittle.
Boom, boom,
Going
boom,
into the next
boom.
quarter. Look at the yards for Purdy, too.
Yeah.
Gassed up.
Oh, this is good. This is good. Nice. 73 for Purdy right now.
Having a nice start
Oh.
here, Lisi.
I like
love
it.
this.
Like to see it.
Love this.
Oh, come on, 1 drive, 1 quarter. Listen, guys, great season. Let's
Great season.
Let's
Yep.
all get it next year.
One of the cleanest quarters. The shame of it all, too, is because if you did have a game tonight where both teams needed this game somewhat, or let's just say Detroit needed
Yeah.
it, because you knew San Francisco would still play, endless points. We
Yeah.
just don't know when that,
But look how long it's all taking.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, Juwan Jennings, he couldn't even haul it in. It was a freebie.
That was a dud. I don't think the play was even
Might have to
live.
bench him.
I didn't think it was live.
Might have to bench him. He can't
Stop.
haul that in. Just
Should've
saying, I'd
caught
look
it.
other
He
ways.
should. He
Look,
should.
he's your number one for next year. You got to limit the exposure, right? Now
He's not the number 1 for next year.
No?
I would.
Pearsall. Pearsall, that's
No, it's
right.
not
Yeah, it is.
Why is it not
Ricky P.
Pearsall? You
Yeah.
bet him for 60-plus. You're all over this Pearsall.
I am for tonight. He's not big enough.
DJ Reader.
Really?
I don't think so.
All right.
We'll see.
I don't think he's that small, Pearsall.
He's like 6 foot, right? If
A
that.
little bigger.
How tall is
I
Chase?
don't know.
Yeah, but Chase burns. I don't. Chase is a
Yeah,
burn.
but Pearsall's got them hands.
He's got great hands. Pearsall has fantastic hands. He does.
6'1". 6'1",
All right,
90.
we're through a quarter of play. Niners money
What was
line.
the call, by the way? Offsides?
Offsides
encroaching.
defense, yeah.
Niners money line comes in the opening quarter instead of a push. First quarter goes through its total.
Mm-hmm.
The game is sitting pick right now.
Dan Campbell's very upset. I could tell.
Is he?
Yeah.
He's good. He's like, you know what? We got to go all the distance now. I can't have my
Yeah.
manhood taken from
right.
me.
He's starting to feel that way, I believe.
I'm trying to go ear to the ground, socials. Maybe we're not hearing stuff.
Yeah.
By the way, you know what? Let me just pull back on something.
Yeah.
At the moment, the Lions starters are in. And at the moment, their defense can do nothing. Like,
Wear them out.
another reason that this team should be you have to find every advantage you can in your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
This defense is a disaster, and we know why. We understand that they are up against it with all of the injuries.
One of the best defenses in the NFL until the injuries ravage them.
Like, you cannot proceed like this, man. I'm sorry, you can't. This is again. I said it as we were getting ready to roll on Game Time. Dan Campbell is aggressive, and I think usually he does the smart thing. So far, he could line up to do the stupid thing. That would be playing his guys a full game here today.
It's
I'm telling
possible.
you.
It's possible. We flip-flopped. Line is still what? In favor of Detroit?
Now, Kevin
Well, it
O'Connell,
was up
he's drawing
until-
up plays right now. Kevin O'Connell's drawing up plays while he's watching this game.
Kevin O'Connell at times, though, his play calling is a little suspect.
Uh-oh.
27-10 yet last night.
Throwing
Little suspect.
interceptions.
Just a little suspect in the second half. He's blown some leads. Did it against the Bears in the middle part of the season.
Coach
Allowed
of the year,
Caleb.
though.
Yep.
No,
Love him.
definitely, without a doubt.
Analytics people loved him. They tried to get Staley over the hump, but they couldn't. But they're going to get Kevin O'Connell there.
It is interesting with O'Connell. Again, totally deserving, but the degree to which he's winning, like in terms of the odds, when you think about, again, Sean Payton, rookie quarterback, Dan Quinn, rookie quarterback, just typically what we've seen. I mean, Andy Reid, 16-1 potentially, 15-1 at
He'll
the
never
moment.
get it, though. It's the same thing.
Well, it's not the quarterback. He's not in the MVP race at all, is he? I mean, I want you to really think about that for a second.
It's Pat Mahomes.
Hold on. The consensus best quarterback in football is on a 15-1 team.
Yes.
Best record in the league.
Yes.
Nobody else is tied or close. And he isn't even in the conversation.
Yes. And the team's not even the team itself on offense is not nearly as good as what it was 3 years ago when it was MVP.
And ask every one of those riders that makes a vote for the MVP who they want on the center come playoff time. I guarantee you 99% of them say Pat Mahomes.
That's fine.
But that's just what it comes down to.
But again, that's the case as Juszczyk scores a touchdown here. But Joe, people saying Mahomes is because why would you? Why would you? No, he's in.
Good job, Juszczyk.
You would never think about the other quarterbacks in football. How many active quarterbacks right now have a Super Bowl MVP? Active. Stafford. Is that it?
What, Mahomes, Stafford?
Is that the list of active quarterbacks with a Super Bowl MVP?
Yeah.
Did Rodgers win one?
Yeah, there you go.
That's a good point. Yeah.
But okay, so I'll put it to you like this, right? If right now someone says, hey, listen, we're in a playoff series, where do you put LeBron, right? Much higher than he actually is in the scope of the NBA.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because ultimately, Pat Mahomes, if it's all on the line, yeah, you want Pat. But Pat has presently not been one of the 3 best quarterbacks in his own conference this year. He's in his prime. That's crazy. And listen, everybody falls back on, well, don't worry, they're going to win the Super Bowl. Okay, so Lisi, what happens if they don't win the Super Bowl?
Well, it all depends on how if they don't, do they lose? Do they get blown out? Does their
I don't care how they lose. They lose. Lisi, the backboard is they won't lose. So why does it matter how they lose?
Well,
it won't matter.
They're trying to do a three-peat.
And?
In modern day, it's never been done. Right?
I understand that.
And it's never been done in the history.
Okay. But
since what?
Right, but the backboard for, man, he doesn't look the same, is, well, don't worry, they're going to win.
It's also being what's asked of you at that particular time with the offense. Right now, the offense has evolved where you see Xavier Worthy, you see Marquise Brown. They go on the road to Pittsburgh. He makes enough plays. He's thrown for 300 yards. It's not like he's throwing for 160 yards a game now.
But he's not averaging 300 a game. He's thrown for 300
he's
a couple
throwing,
times.
When asked, he could turn it on at any given time.
So they don't have interest in winning games by actual margin? That's interesting. Game is still picked. Lions ball next.
In the heart of winter, when nights grow long, we come together under these lights. A team, united by purpose. Fans bound by passion. Each holding a small flicker of hope in their hands. At SportsGrid, we believe that even the darkest nights can't dim the unity we share. One team, one stadium, one shining moment. This holiday season, we shine brighter together. Happy Hanukkah from all of us at SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
He's blocked well and tries to cut through the middle. Oh!
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Back right here on SportsGrid. And the Lions' drive begins with Jamar Jefferson again in the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
Could be
no
an omen.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Could be an omen.
But isn't it the normal workflow should be? It can't be he just is out there all the time anyway, Jahmyr.
Well, now
Gibbs, right?
that he's in number one, isn't it 3 backs that eat 3 series? So,
Yes, because they've always run it like you get this series, you get the series, you get this series. Because it looks like he's out there right now, just in that stance, I guess. Yeah.
But
so it is interesting.
Just to be clear, like last week, Donnie,
Mm-hmm.
opening. Let's see how far I can go with this. Yeah. Jefferson first 3 drives, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Reynolds, nothing.
Yes, which again, I think they're being measured with him tonight, which is what the bet was saying. I don't think he's going to get 20 carries, which is the play out. But if we knew they were playing starters, he's going to get some. But I didn't think like it was going to be first 4 drives, 5 drives are all his. So they are playing sort of to the normal stereotype they do have, 3rd and 4.
I'm just saying last week in the opening, as Laporta with his second reception, which is now going to start to cut things close here. But Donnie, right? Like last week, no one else carried the ball other than Jahmyr Gibbs in that backfield.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So listen, one drive,
yeah.
I got you. This is too many. This is this is stupid. No. Because I just want to be clear. People are going to think, "Oh, you're just rooting in your bets." No, I placed my bets because I didn't think he would be stupid.
Yes.
He is now being stupid.
Look,
it's indefensible.
Come over to my side.
No,
man.
and I told them tonight. I go, you'll see things start to shift.
Yeah.
This is stupid. This is beating your chest for no reason.
Yeah.
Bosa just hit Goff, and if he went down and then what? Dan Campbell goes to the locker room crying the way Steve Kerr did that time Durant got hurt.
They're football players. They play football.
Everybody's in.
Not softball.
Good.
All right?
Yeah.
Football.
Let me tell you this. If I own the Lions, hey, Dan, come here. Guess what?
Yeah.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
You just made my life really easy.
Run it.
Fire
Run
Dan
him
Campbell.
again.
Elevate
Run
Dan
him
Johnson.
again. And again.
I don't have his unders. You're not taking money out of my
there
pocket.
he goes. Out of a cannon.
That's all good with me.
Yep.
He got his 60.
Boom. Good.
Bam.
How many does he have now?
60.
Really?
Yeah.
No, he has them for 60 plus.
No, he has 60.
He has 60 yards.
There you go.
Yeah.
Out of a cannon.
He looks great. This is ridiculous.
This makes for great rating. I
does.
love this.
It's fun.
The
to watch
longer
it play
that
out.
this plays out,
Yes.
I'm gonna enjoy sitting on this desk.
I struggle all year long with bad decision making. And it comes in different ways. When Kirk Ferentz punts on his opponent's 40 on 4th and 2.
Did. How'd they do in that game, by the way?
Yeah, they lost. It's like they should do an SEC powerhouse, too. Don.
Yes.
That
That's his third catch.
Laporta.
Ooh, rocked. Now, was that in the secondary?
Yeah, we need the play to come off the board, though. Because
It's
now,
going to come off the board.
3.5.
Yeah, look, here we go. Holding defense. Oh, offense comes off the board anyway.
Perfect.
There you go. By the
Keep
way, he
pushing
took
him back.
a shot.
Yeah, he did.
And Laporta's always been the healthiest player in football. No worries about that. All good. All
Where was
good.
the hold? Where was the hold?
Penny Sewell has to hold.
He does.
Because he has to protect Jared
Correct.
Goff from his head coach.
Bang!
Bash, concussion protocol, not playing next week. Smash. There's your unders. There's your run. We play football, not softball. Done.
Wow.
Done. Rip up that ticket. Should have called me. I would have gave you an odds boost.
Yeah.
Only on Kevin Book. You're done. You're done over there. There's Reynolds in the back. I'd run it.
Pass it to Reynolds. Reynolds
Look
is
at
the
this.
man you want. Reynolds is the man you want.
Look at this. Goff running.
Oh.
Yeah. This is going to get ugly.
Hunting.
This will get ugly now.
Ooh, Bosa might have got fractured.
This will get
right
ugly
there.
now. Now it gets ugly right here on SportsGrid. Watch it. Look at this. That could be you. That's what they're saying right now. Guys are down. That could be you. 2 Niners just got hurt.
All right, hey.
They're sending a warning to Dan. They're letting them know. They're letting them know this is football, not softball. I'd be careful.
By the way, was that Warner that went down?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
I don't even think Greenlaw was playing tonight, was he? I could be wrong.
Don, what are you hearing in the streets? Are people talking about how foolish this is, or is everybody still out to lunch? Do people still think the division's on the line?
Yes, I think the division's on the line right now at this point. They're loving it. They're loving the electricity coming in here now from the Detroit Lions. They want to play all 4 quarters, really show up.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, we are going to hit a quick commercial break of our own here, as Gibbs is up to 106.5, total 58.5. Game is right now minus 128 towards the Niners. But it does appear, because I've been waiting to see if the broadcast will maybe talk about this topic, they hit the MVP topic.
Oh.
Interesting opinion from Troy Aikman.
Oh.
We'll talk about it next here on SportsGrid.
In the heart of winter, when nights grow long, we come together under these lights. A team, united by purpose. Fans bound by passion. Each holding a small flicker of hope in their hands. At SportsGrid, we believe that even the darkest nights can't dim the unity we share. One team, one stadium, one shining moment. This holiday season, we shine brighter together. Happy Hanukkah from all of us at SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Blocked well and tries to cut through the middle. Oh!
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Back right here on SportsGrid, and we are seeing more trickery and fun from the one and only Detroit Lions.
Woo!
Jamison Williams with his second score of the game. That is a nice piece of business there for Detroit, and Goff should absolutely now get a tap on the head. It's been a great season, son. We got it on the line next week. We'll see if the Lions can figure out what's going on. We have right now a 3.5-point spread in favor of Detroit. I don't know if that's a spoiler because does he kick the extra point or does he go for two?
I don't know.
No, I think he kicks the extra point now. He won't chase points now.
No. You don't think so?
No.
Touch.
Oh, Laporta, look at him.
Got rocked.
Yeah, he's not really sure what's going on.
Now, here's what I like, too. So you have Ben Johnson, who last week used the stumble play in a meaningless ball game. Fantastic call, loved it.
Yep.
Now you just use the hook and lateral in a game.
Yeah.
So to give some looks for
Totally
next week,
foolish.
let's say, okay, we might see that again.
Yep. Totally foolish. This could very well be a Detroit team whose ego and pride cost them any chance at anything, which would be really foolish. It's a 14-13 lead. It's a 2.5-point spread, 63.5 total. It keeps climbing. I mentioned a comment on the broadcast from Troy Aikman, who was talking a little bit about the league's MVP, said if he had a vote, it would go to Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals are going to be playing this coming Saturday for a spot to keep their playoff hopes alive in Pittsburgh. Donnie, the MVP race, it, at least conversation-wise, does not seem to be over. What do you think of Burrow's candidacy?
No, you can't be 8-8. And if I just use this as a Hall of Fame argument as well, you can't be a 500 quarterback and be in the Hall of Fame. When there's one that's going to be up for the Hall of Fame, it's Eli Manning. Had a couple nice moments. Never the best quarterback in his own division throughout his entire career in any season. He was 500. So usually give the wins and the losses there and the credit to the quarterback, right? Which he gets credit for winning Super Bowls. Yes, he does. Joe Burrow is on an 8-8 football team. Is it his fault that he doesn't play defense? No, it's not. But that's the way we play games. I don't know if we could go back long enough for check. Have we ever had an 8-8, 9-8, 8-7, whatever football team have an MVP on it? Has that ever happened?
Well, I'll give you an idea, at least the last few seasons, Donnie.
Yeah.
Lamar last year, 1 seed.
Yeah.
Mahomes the year before that, 1 seed.
Okay.
Rodgers, 1 seed, 1 seed.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar, take a guess. It'll blow your mind. 1 seed.
Yeah.
Mahomes 2018. Stop me if you want me to. 1 seed. How about Brady? Yup. Matt Ryan, you know it. Cam Newton, obviously. This entire award for almost over a decade now has been, who's the quarterback of the 1 seed?
Yes.
Here's your MVP. But things have been thrown off a little bit. Why? We already talked about it. The quarterback of the 1 seed in the AFC doesn't belong anywhere near the conversation. The quarterback in the NFC also doesn't really belong in the conversation in Jared Goff.
Yeah.
So, Donnie, they dropped down a level, and it was supposed to be Josh's, the 2 seed. Plus, people thought Josh could catch the Chiefs. They did beat the Chiefs. But since it's not going to go to the 1 seed, it now seems like this thing is open season, Joe. At least conversationally, not just Lamar. There's a lot of Burrow chatter.
Right, that's possible. But again, Joe Burrow would be a compiler in that type of situation, right? 8-8. If he was an 8-8 football team, he is right now 9-8. You're going to put him into the MVP race basically as what? Compiling stats, putting him his team in terms of a playoff situation. But if they don't get there, and even if they do get there, they underachieved. This team was picked at a 9.5 win total. This team was picked in the better half at 16-1 to win the AFC, and maybe 20-1 to win a Super Bowl. So,
listen,
I just don't. I
know
think
you're
going
to
to
roll your.
I love Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
If there's anybody that doesn't, I love Joe Burrow. He is one of the most important pieces, the important piece for that team.
Yeah.
But so is Josh Allen.
The thing is,
I mean, come on. We're talking about
you
Josh
used to
Allen.
love Joe Burrow.
What?
You used to love him. No, hold on.
LSU.
Well, no. Well, it's interesting, Joe.
No, because now you're going to say I love Jaden Daniels more.
Well, you do.
You do.
No, that's not true.
Well, hold on. Jaden Daniels at LSU went 9-3, won 0 big games that season, was outplayed usually in every single game they lost at the quarterback position, and you said he deserved the Heisman. So
He
it's
did.
Well, how then?
How what? He was the best player.
Trap
Because
door.
the
trap door.
Heisman is the best player in football. And you don't think that Josh Allen is the best player in football? I mean, does Joe Burrow run the football the way Josh does?
But hold on. You said that Burrow's
we're
a
talking
compiler.
best quarterback. What are we talking
Well,
about?
running is a part of playing the quarterback position.
I agree 100%. But look, pocket passer Joe Burrow is the best, I believe, in terms of the NFL. He's as close of a comparison to Tom Brady that you can make. The best overall quarterback athletic-wise, I think it's Josh Allen and Lamar. And Jalen's in that category at times as well. But again, Josh Allen, if we're talking about those 3 quarterbacks, has 3 losses. He single-handedly take games over on the ground and through the air. His team would be lost without him. Lost.
Well, so I think ultimately. So, by the way, if I had a vote, I think it would go to Josh Allen as well. I'm just saying I think it's interesting to hear you call Joe Burrow a compiler when last year.
This year, he would be a compiler.
But
There's a difference. You got to take it year to year.
No, I know. I'm just saying, but it is so similar to the Jaden Daniels season.
No, because we're
Jaden
talking
Daniels won that
NFL
award.
and college.
No, it's the same thing.
No, it's not.
It is. It is.
No, it's not. Come on.
Listen, it is. But ultimately, Donnie, right? Burrow leads in touchdowns and not passing. Total yards, total touchdowns. Joe Burrow leads.
And we can talk about what a team needs. Listen, again, I believe Josh Value's value is amazing. The Cincinnati Bengals are putting out a bottom 5 defense and are sat there 500 thanks to his excellence.
Yeah, but then you could go through every passing leader in the NFL that was on lower and less successful teams.
Ricky.
That's it. He got it, baby.
He did. There you go.
That's it. 60 plus.
Cash it.
Cash it at plus 540.
I gotta go greedy. How did I not play him through?
Donnie, he's
True.
57.
How
What
did
do you
I
need him
not
through?
play him
60?
through every number?
Come on, man. He's got the whole way.
So, but that's it. I mean, did Dan Fouts back in the day ever win an MVP?
No, but also he is
Marino?
He is the product of, because it's a say, well, he has a bad defense, not in the playoffs, not his fault. But also understand this: he has to be in a shootout every single game and put those stats up because his defense forced him. If he's played with a defense that's number 1 in the NFL and they're giving up 7.7 points per game, he doesn't throw for all these yards. They're running the clock out in the fourth quarter. So
right,
it does
and then
go
he has
both ways.
similar stats to maybe what?
Ways.
Then we'd be saying he's like Mahomes, right? He's not wowing everybody.
Yeah.
Again, it will never. And here's the thing: you can try, you'll never get out of it. Everything that you're saying about Burrow, was true the year Jaden Daniels won the Heisman Trophy.
But we're talking NFL and college.
The Heisman is the MVP award in college, Joe. You can pretend it's not.
Jaden Daniels rushed for he accounted for.
Burrow threw for 5,000 yards.
I mean, come on,
50 touchdowns. The defense
600 yards of total offense.
They can't stop the nosebleeder.
Stat compile.
Throw it to Pearsall.
Run it. Whoa!
Oh, you didn't bet the Brock Purdy touchdown this week?
Oh, it's true.
I didn't.
You were chasing Sam Laporta. We'll be right back.
So my team didn't win this weekend, but I still did with this app that's taking over the game. Sports Millions Pick'em lets you make quick and easy predictions. Pick your favorite players, go higher or lower, and you can still win big even if your team loses. Plus, the multiplier is insane. With just a few picks, you can win big money. So get on it. They've got a welcome bonus to help you start off your winning streak.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Blocked well and tries to cut through the middle. Oh!
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, we're back to right here. We're making it happen live on SportsGrid.
Detroit's going all the way tonight.
Love it.
The 50 dropbacks, 30 touches for Gibbs.
Good,
We're all in
good.
tonight.
You know what? I want to upset you. Why not? Do it.
Oh, boy.
You could, by the way, Ricky Pearsall over his number. What an absolute.
He's going to get 100 yards. He's going to go, what was it, like probably 15-1 for 100 yards tonight for Pearsall?
The only thing I didn't look at was what his price was to lead this game in receiving yards.
Yeah.
I
He
thought
may
you
just
did.
do it.
I thought that's.
I meant to, yeah, and I forgot.
The
Just
handicap was great for Pearsall tonight, though. He's going to be more involved. You're out of the playoffs. See what he's got. And he's getting targets tonight. And he's getting rushes.
right, and this defense, right?
Yes.
Like we just think about this
Yeah.
Here's the deal, though, man.
Mm-hmm.
So just everything has like a bar. So I thought that they shouldn't play beyond the first drive. That was my opinion.
Yeah.
I felt that playing the opening drive was fine.
Yes.
But I also think like there's a world that he says we're going to play a half and then we're going to pop the tops.
Mm-hmm.
But I cannot stress it. Like Dan Campbell is potentially sending out the worst defense in football.
Yes.
He's letting them. He's just going to let them get abused like
Yes.
this.
Run tired. Long flight. Exhausted tomorrow. It's Tuesday. You try to start picking up the scraps on Wednesday. Meanwhile, Minnesota's at home resting and getting ready for you.
They're not even watching this game. They're right now. They're probably watching a little Houston, Oklahoma State.
Yep.
Wizards, Knicks.
Yeah.
You think so?
Maybe watching us on a second screen experience.
Exactly.
Possible.
That's
Playing
second screen out,
PlayStation.
yeah. Yep.
You know, they're not watching this. What are they watching this for? This doesn't matter. This does not matter.
A pass rush getting home, no? Oh, who's that, Gibbs?
Gibbs is going to have about 7,000 total
is.
scrimmage yards in this football
Keep on giving them
Giving them burn.
receptions out there.
He's got
giving him
2 for
burn.
30
He's over his number.
Yeah.
in the
I think it was like
receiving game.
26 and a half. Yeah.
26, 27, yeah. It's all that.
Again, I think it's really interesting, though. And my complaints will not stop.
Well, the
throughout
other
show.
thing, too, is he wants them to be sharp, maybe. You know, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they don't practice at all, I'm assuming, then, to stay sharp?
Yeah, but
Weeks,
practice, Donnie, is different than game situations.
But then NFL
and,
coaches will tell you that practicing against another team or just having a scrimmage in your own
That's
practice.
a fumble.
I don't think it's a fumble, but
Well,
my goodness.
Lisi, if he's worried about them being sharp, you know what he should do? No, I'm just saying, though, right?
Yeah, let's hear it.
We'll make sure that he doesn't get the 1 seed then. Wouldn't want that bye.
Yeah, first incompletion of the game was that pass.
You're like overall?
Overall.
Crazy.
You know what this – because you know why? This is Week 18 football. This game doesn't matter. Nobody's trying. You ever by chance work a job where you're like, we don't really need to be here right now.
Huh?
This is a little unnecessary.
Yeah. All right.
The question was tempting, and I knew the answers that we would get.
Setting us up here.
But, like, ultimately, you think for the Lions, these players are a little bit like, man, like, are we really still going back out there?
Yeah.
Like, we shouldn't be out there.
Look at another touch.
This game is over.
Another touch.
I don't think they think that.
No?
No. I think they're, at the end of the day, I mean, they're competitors. This is a team that knocked them out. I mean, the guys are in there. They're going to compete.
Yeah, they're showing a lot of heart, both sides of the ball.
Offense is moving. Offense isn't moving the ball
What
well.
is that team total next week? What is it? Bang.
That was on Bosa.
Yeah, that was a couple plays. That was
That was like a last drive.
Yeah. Slinging it. Boom.
Just getting smashed.
Love it. Love drive here. Now, honestly, because if you wanted to play this game out, and again, coaches are going to always say, hey, we need to play and do all this stuff. But if your offense is cooking this well, this is probably their last possession of the half.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say they scored a touchdown and get 21. I'm telling you, if he plays the second half, and I said this before the show, I'm going to bet Minnesota live on the show next week, even though I have 1 million Detroit tickets in my pocket, and it doesn't help me to take Minnesota or root for Minnesota next week.
But I don't blame you. Because here's the other reason, Donnie, why it makes a lot of sense. They look terrible on one side of the football. Like,
do they keep the offense in and just take the defensive starters out? Hey, guys, good work. You know what I mean?
Maybe he goes the other way. He's like, listen, offense, thank you. I wanted to see a good half of football.
I mean, knowing Dan Campbell, he's going to start putting like Penei Sewell at defensive tackle. And like, let's get a look at this guy. See if he can help us next week.
It's not probably Goff a couple reps at corner. Right? Not? Why not at this rate? I mean, this is unbelievable, man. I can't believe he's doing
You're
this.
stunned.
I really am. I thought better of him. Look, he's moving Penei Sewell. Like, Ben Johnson is wasting his good plays in this game.
Who's this now?
That's Reynolds.
Like, I think I'm out on Ben Johnson, too, to be honest with you.
Wow.
You're out on Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
Is there anybody
tonight.
you like?
Man.
Yeah.
Not a great cycle. Oh, you know who I think would be a good hire for a lot of teams? Doug Peterson. Super Bowl winner.
What,
Went to
as
the
a
playoffs.
coordinator?
No, as a head coach.
Come on.
Why? Who would you hire?
I would hire
Aaron
him as
Glenn?
a quality control coach.
Who would you hire?
I
Joey
would think
McGuire? Huh? Who would you
Who
hire?
won them bowl
What about
games?
Jerry?
Who would you hire?
Sam Pittman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, come on. I would hire Pete Carroll over Doug Peterson.
Why?
Petey.
I think Pete Carroll would be a better hire than Doug Peterson would.
Why?
I just because again, I think he relates to the young players. Look at what he did in
Oldest
terms
coach
of
in football?
Seattle.
Yep.
Yeah, oldest coach in football, but still, after Russell Wilson went, he got him to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so okay, Doug Peterson regressed with Trevor Lawrence. You're telling me that with Geno, he didn't elevate Geno to at least a comparable and good quarterback?
Gino looked mostly the same with or without him.
And they said the defense. All right, the defense, great. But the offense still put up points.
But Pete Carroll's
The
a
9-8
defensive
football
guy.
team. Yeah, but he was a 9-8 coach when they had a 5.5 win total. You had a coach in Doug Peterson that was picked to win the division right behind Houston.
They weren't picked to win the division, that means.
Second best price. They were within striking distance too. They had a pretty good price heading into the year. It wasn't like they were dead last.
No, they weren't dead last.
Where were they? What were they? Plus what? 210 maybe?
Maybe.
All right.
All right, he won that division.
Who won the division? Last year.
Doug Peterson.
He lost it. What do you mean?
No, but 2 years ago he won it.
Yeah.
When they were picked last.
But he's regressed.
Gutty.
Stop. Come on.
He won a Super Bowl.
With
Why does
your-
that not matter? Because you don't like winning. I
He
forget
likes
that.
Press Taylor.
I forget that. You're not big in the winning anymore these days. Something changed in you.
Once
Really?
you win the Super Bowl, you just you know what, I'm off that coach now. Got to get the next guy up.
No, but again, he did a great job in Philly. That was 7 years ago.
Well, how long ago was Pete Carroll's Super Bowl?
Long time. But again, I think
Longer than
still,
that?
Yeah, but again, he
About
still
Tomlin.
had more success.
Oof.
And without Russell Wilson.
Like Tomlin. No thanks.
No?
No thanks.
How about
Tomlin's
Adam
all
Gase?
gassed
Let's
up for
scrape
this
him
week.
up. Where's he?
That'd be
Remember his press
interesting.
No, you.
conference?
What?
Yeah, press conference.
Eyes McGee.
Sirianni's press conference was the guy's a winner. We'll be right back.
In the heart of winter, when nights grow long, we come together under these lights. A team, united by purpose. Fans bound by passion. Each holding a small flicker of hope in their hands. At SportsGrid, we believe that even the darkest nights can't dim the unity we share. One team, one stadium, one shining moment. This holiday season, we shine brighter together. Happy Hanukkah from all of us at SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
He's blocked well and tries to cut through the middle. Oh!
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Back with you right here, and we've got a very important third down, I believe it is, coming up for the Detroit offense here. They have 1 minute and 24 left before we hit the half, so very likely the first, or the final drive, for this Lions offense.
Yeah,
and
big play.
then we wait to see what the second half brings.
Who's out there?
Can't
All
say.
right.
They got the full unit.
Stop them. They're going for it.
Oh,
They
no
always
doubt.
do.
No doubt. I thought about playing Bates under field goals.
Yeah.
Under the idea of like, we're not kicking. This game doesn't matter. Yes. Instead, apparently, it's going to be like, we're not kicking because this game is our season's on the line. Like, that's just the approach they're taking. But
just curious, you're better off if people haven't bet the pre, if they want to take your approach.
Yeah.
To obviously take the unders in the second half lines when they post them.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're going to be posted. I mean, the reality is you can always hit these wagers naturally, right?
Right. So, like right now, after this drive, they're going to have numbers.
Yeah. Yep.
If you believe that that's going to happen, hit it now.
Monster play.
What I do wonder is if they catch Campbell going into the locker room.
Yeah.
And if they ask him, and does that then change everything? Because I think that is plausible. You know, that becomes the question. So they're
Laporta hit again.
Look, man, I'll just say that's a very important play there for some prop bettors. 2+ passing touchdowns for Goff.
Yeah.
A very juicy number.
Yeah.
Where maybe some people said, look, I think they're going to make sure Goff grabs his too, right? Well, they gave it a shot.
Yep.
You know, some folks have their anytime touchdown scores.
Yes.
Jahmyr Gibbs, minus, a lot to score.
What's he down to now? He's got to be plus. He's plus 100.
I think an atrocious number, quite frankly, but that's just me. The very interesting thing is, like, Goff right now is at 287.5 while sitting on 97 passing yards.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, because that's not updated. No, he's at 138 passing yards. I was about to say, like, they haven't thrown for 200 in this.
What's his number for the game now?
287.5.
This is going to be so interesting.
Niners flipped to favorites 2.5. Lisa, you agree?
Yeah. Now I do. What happened?
No, well, I asked the question, then it feels like a dumb question because, like, hey, you think the Niners should be favored? I don't know. Is Detroit going to play their guy? Like, you know what I mean? Like, the whole premise. Like, I know I'm harping on this a lot, but it's the entire premise of this whole football game.
Yes. Right. But again, if you don't believe that that's going to happen, and maybe they play into the third quarter and you rest them in the fourth, then you take a shot. That's the problem.
But in like the whole landscape of like the way football plays out, like if there was a chance to get him out of the game, 2 touchdowns in the first half, you get him out. He didn't do that. You play through the half. You're going to go into the half, let these guys decompress, and come back out in a meaningless football game in the second half.
But
the offense looks good. Like I can see them going. Offense sits, defense just take your lickings to try to get something right, even though that doesn't make any sense. But we're playing in territory we've never seen. The biggest NFL game of the season will be played next week, and we're playing a preseason game tonight before next week with all our starters.
And he's crazy enough to say, you know what? I thought we'd be
up. I thought we'd be up 21-3.
And now we're down. You know what? We're playing the whole second half.
Yes. Incredible.
I mean, they have a 287 number like Jared Goff's going to chuck it 45 times in this game.
Yeah, I also think the issue with that number is and I don't, it looks the little counter that says 97.
Yes.
They must not know whether or not the Jameson Williams yardage goes to Goff or not. Because ESPN has it going to Goff, right? Do you know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to figure out, like, why are they so off?
What Jameson Williams?
The Jameson Williams lateral?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's still it's a completion and a lateral.
He's got 44 receiving yards, right?
Yes. But it says he has 1 catch for 44 receiving yards.
Yeah.
But he caught a pass.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So his receiving yards were not thrown by Goff. Like, I don't know if those yards go to Goff, the lateral yards.
They should go to Goff.
Yeah, they should go.
Yeah, that's why it's got 138.
Yeah.
Okay, but what I'm telling you is over here on FD, they're showing the little 97 bar. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's what throws me off a little bit.
Over there then.
They don't know how to
ESPN
score.
Is correct.
ESPN is correct. They've been off with the scoring of the bowl games and everything else. That's all I could tell you from FD.
Yeah.
So,
the other thing that maybe I don't know if we should get into, like, what do the Niners do if the Lions pull their guys?
I think we got a decent little update here.
Yeah. That becomes an interesting part of it.
Well,
I
the D
believe
is real good for the.
we'll be back on the other side, by the way. We're right here on SportsGrid.
In the heart of winter, when nights grow long, we come together under these lights. A team, united by purpose. Fans, bound by passion. Each holding a small flicker of hope in their hands. At SportsGrid, we believe that even the darkest nights can't dim the unity we share. One team, one stadium, one shining moment. This holiday season, we shine brighter together. Happy Hanukkah from all of us at SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Blocked well and tries to cut through the middle. Oh!
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Yeah. All right, live right here on SportsGrid. Kevin Walsh, Donnie Rightside, and Joe Lisi. We're watching the Niners just torch the Detroit Lions. I mean, in embarrassing fashion, honestly, at this rate here. Oh, that comes back.
Does it come back?
Yeah. That would have put Purdy over 200 yards.
Yeah.
Over 200 yards at half.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
The Lions starters are out there.
Yeah. He's playing well. They're aggressive with
well,
the
he's
play.
got to win the MVP. You're not too late.
You're too late.
You're
not
too
too
late.
Playing for a contract night, biggest game of the season. Well, let's see, they called this.
Yeah, it was good call. It was a good call.
It's
Detroit
close.
players hit each other.
It's close. It's close. I see the vision, though. He blocked his own man, which
Correct.
is funny, though.
Yes.
Like the guy covering him.
Yep.
That's probably a bad call, actually.
Yeah.
That's probably
They
a
love
bad
to see
call.
that, though. They're taught to see that.
So now you're getting. Here's the one thing, though. That's good.
One timeout they still got.
There's no Detroit offensive plays, which is good.
Yes.
Just because, we have some other, unders and things like that we're sitting on.
Field goal. Now you got one more play.
No, fourth down, though.
Fourth down, yeah. Yep.
So they'll kick this field goal.
We should have been on the total.
Up 24-13.
It's hard, though, because you wanted to dabble in this game, which we did, and it looks like it's probably going to be profitable. But the games that we dream about, this could have been it.
You're not wrong at all. Like, what's very funny is lost in the I can't believe the starters are out there.
Yeah.
The starters are out there, and they are getting their heads beat in by a 6-9 team. They are getting routed.
Yeah.
And that is why I made that analogy a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Is if somebody is asked to do something that they don't even think they should be bothering with, you don't get a great effort.
Yeah.
Right. Listen, we'll never know, and I understand, Joe, everybody thinks they play for Dan Campbell. But you know what? Guys don't like taking unnecessary hits, as cute and fun as it sounds.
You're right, but again, they're in a playoff push, and then they're looking for an NFC champion.
There's 2 seconds left in the half, and they missed the field goal.
Yeah,
I'm saying that Penei Sewell left already to go into the locker room, jogging to the locker room. Yeah. He's not going to be out here for the snap.
I mean, this should be a
knee. Anything?
We're going to be sending this over to Tom Vecchio here, and wait to see what the second half brings on a Monday night.
What's going on, and welcome to Pro Football Today. Halftime show. My name is Tom Vecchio. Monday Night Football, 49ers right now. Going into halftime with the lead at 21-13 over the Lions. We're seeing a ton of points. We're seeing a ton of points. We're seeing a ton of scoring. Props are looking alive for most, if not all, players across the board on both teams. Obviously, the lack of defense is apparent. When we're getting, 5 drives to start the game with all scoring, obviously the Lions did miss that extra point in the first quarter, but we are seeing plenty of scoring, plenty of props. We're seeing players get into the end zone. Let's just jump in because we have so much to go through. Brock Purdy so far, 200 yards at halftime, 200. I spoke specifically on the pregame show with Adam about Brock Purdy going over 255.5. He looks well on his way to do so. He has the 2 passing touchdowns, one of which went to Kyle Juszczyk. That was a very short one for 9 yards. The other one is to Ricky Pearsall to actually open the game. And Ricky Pearsall leads the way, not just for the 49ers, but the game overall with 63 receiving yards. Adam was talking about how he knew people across the industry were talking up Ricky Pearsall over 26.5 receiving yards. He's got 63 at halftime to go along with the 4 catches overall. Guerrero just had that long catch on the drive. He's got 53 receiving yards. George Kittle had one called back, but he still has 45 receiving yards overall. And Juwan Jennings, a little bit slow first half for him. He's got 17 to add in. Guerrero in the ground game with the 26 yards. He's putting together a very, very solid game. On the Lions side of things, Goff has 138, the 1 passing touchdown. So far, a huge game from Gibbs, as we all expected, as we've kind of seen, especially last week with no David Montgomery. 9 carries for 60 yards for Jahmyr Gibbs. He's got the 3 catches for 37 yards in the air. And, of course, we got to talk about the trick play for the Lions. That counts as a reception for Amon-Ra St. Brown, lateral to Jameson Williams, who then runs for 44 yards and the touchdown. We did see St. Brown add in a few catches later on. Only a few short catches from Sam Laporta, but we have a ton of scoring. The game total for this was 50.5, 51, whatever it is. It has jumped up to 61.5, and obviously the line has flipped to 2.5 in favor of the 49ers. So much scoring to start, really, not just to start, but across this game overall. Now, it's important to note that the Lions will get the ball coming out of halftime. We have seen a ton of touchdowns. So if you want to jump on the Lions at plus 2.5, you expect them to score. That line will obviously change if they do come away with a touchdown, which apparently is just the theme of this game. Every single one, every single drive essentially ending with a touchdown. We did obviously see the Lions stop, which would have tied it, but this is their chance to stop it coming out of halftime. So I don't mind taking the Lions plus 2.5. As I said on the pregame show, I have the Lions at minus 3.5. I have it, on the alt lines as well, because I expect the Lions to come out and score. I don't want to get a little bit of revenge, but we are alive for all of the props. And I got to say, if you are on Lions props, I wouldn't be worried. If they were up 21-13 and then they get the ball coming out of halftime and then they score, that might be a different story. But I would say we are in for another entertaining second half. If we get to, let's call it the very, very end of the fourth quarter, the second half of just the fourth quarter, and the Lions are down and the 49ers pull away with an extra score, then I could see some Lions players being pulled. But I don't think we're going to get to that point. That's where we would see Craig Reynolds get involved in the mix with just more carries because they pull Gibbs. But I really wouldn't be worried about that. I think we're going to operate rationally for the majority of the second half. So, again, live total is 61.5, 2.5 points in favor of the 49ers. That has obviously flipped since pregame. It is 21-13 at halftime. Again, plenty of production from basically everyone involved outside of Sam Laporta, who only has 2 catches for 7 yards, and Juwan Jennings, who has 2 catches for 17 yards. I spoke about him going over his receiving prop, which was sitting at 62.5. He's only got 17 yards in the first half. You would like to see Purdy with the 200 yards. You would like to see him push the ball. At least I would like to see Jennings get involved more and Purdy continue to push the ball downfield. They're not overly effective on the ground. Isaac Rendo has 7 carries for 26 yards. Debo got involved in the first few drives, but really hasn't played a role outside of that. Like Rendo has 7 carries for 26 yards with a long of 11. So that means he has 6 carries for 15 yards. Like he's not being overly effective on the ground. So let's continue to push the ball in the air. The Lions defense is clearly banged up. They can't stop anyone. 49ers are moving the ball, and we should see plenty of scoring and plenty of props to come through. If I had to decide, of course, I would lean on over 61.5. I don't want to go there just because we have other bets involved so far, but it's just got to be the play concerning the lack of defense that we've seen on both sides. So great stuff, really fun game. This is what we want to see. Like regardless of the motivation from the Lions or lack of motivation on both sides, this is a fun game that gives us plenty of hope when it comes to, depending on what your SGPs may be, depending on what, you have parlays coming in from the weekend. Maybe you had some touchdown score parlays, whatever it might be. A lot of people I would assume, are hoping that Gibbs and or St. Brown get involved or get into the end zone for the Lions side of things. That's what I would assume people are looking to get. So again, 21-13 at halftime in favor of the 49ers, 61.5 over under. We're coming up against a break in about a minute. We can continue to look at some of the live player props, just because we're going to be seeing some yards. We're going to be seeing some yards. We're going to be seeing some scoring. Brock Purdy's is up at 308 right now. Jared Goff's is at 274. The Goff's number obviously is a bit go just because, again, how much will the Lions players be playing, especially if we get later in the game, and they continue to be down again. This is a meaningless game for the Lions when it's all said and done. So we will be back after the break, taking a look at things. 61.5 total for this game. Stay tuned here, Sports Grid, Pro Football Today halftime show.
In the heart of winter, when nights grow long, we come together under these lights. A team, united by purpose. Fans, bound by passion. Each holding a small flicker of hope in their hands. At SportsGrid, we believe that even the darkest nights can't dim the unity we share. One team, one stadium, one shining moment. This holiday season, we shine brighter together. Happy Hanukkah from all of us at SportsGrid.
The 2 guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Blocked well and tries to cut through the middle. Oh!
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
What's going on? Welcome to Pro Football Today. Halftime show. My name is Tom Vecchio. Monday Night Football, last one of the season, Week 17. 49ers are up 21-13 over the Lions. We have seen points, and more points. We've seen plenty of yards from everyone involved. Again, live total is up at 61.5. That has obviously changed from the pregame number. That was 50.5, 51.5, depending where you found it. The line is flipped. It's now minus 2.5 in favor of the 49ers. The Lions will be getting the ball to start the third quarter. I think they come out and play as rationally and as straightforward as we've seen in the first half. For the entire third quarter, depending on how we look at midway through the third quarter, that's where I could see players being pulled. But that's obviously, yet to be seen if this is only if the 49ers pull away and the Lions aren't able to continue scoring, which I do not expect to happen when it's all said and done. Let's look at some of these live player props because, again, if we are expecting the 49ers to continue to move this ball up and down the field against this banged-up defense, who's going to be involved? Like I said, I spoke about Juwan Jennings heavily on the pregame show. At 62.5 yards, his number is now down at 38.5. He has 17 yards to begin with. Ricky Pearsall is sitting at 78.5 when he has 63 currently. Depending on, what your belief is, as I kind of mentioned on that pregame show, is like and this is just, my take as the story I was saying is like, they know what they have with Deebo Samuel. Like, let's get Ricky Pearsall involved more. So if you're buying into that belief, it's like they want to showcase some of their young talent to like, just get a better look at him. He hasn't played a whole lot of games. He hasn't missed the first portion of the season. He hasn't played a ton of snaps. He wasn't always involved in things. But if they know Brandon Ayuk is not going to be ready for the start of next season, he got hurt in week 6, I believe it was, week 7 for Brandon Ayuk, which means with the ACL, he'll be out at least, the beginning portion of next year. Will they have Deebo on the roster next year? Let's get Ricky Pearsall involved. So 78.5 yards now. He's sitting at 63. Obviously, the majority of it coming from that one long catch, but he could probably get there. Now, I'm not saying I'm personally going there, but that's the one I would take. That's the one that's most interesting when it comes to the 49ers side of things. You can go to George Kittle. He had the long pass called back, whatever it might be. But I think it would be Pearsall on one side and Gibbs on the other side. He's got 37, and his live line is sitting at 53. I would have interest in Craig Reynolds over 23.5 rushing yards, and this is under the expectation that Gibbs will be pulled at some point. He has 13 right now. His line is sitting at 23. I kind of want to jump in there and just take over 23.5 rushing yards for Craig Reynolds, expecting that Gibbs does get pulled at some point. So I'm jumping in there. And I think you could say the same about any of these players. If you expect St. Brown to be pulled and you simply want to take an under there, I understand it. If you have St. Brown props and you don't want to buy back in, that I fully understand as well. The Goff line, I think, is the most interesting. 274.5 when he has 97 yards in the first half. Now, again, they will get the ball coming out of halftime. If they can go down and put up points on that first drive, Goff's number is probably going to jump a bit. If they fail to score and have to punt, which is on the extreme side of things, because no one's punting tonight, Goff's number is probably going to drop to, the mid or low, I would say low 260s, high 250s. I still think the under is the play on Goff. I really just don't think they're going to be out there for the entire game. So that's what it's going to come down to. So again, 21-13 in favor of the 49ers. We've seen points. We've seen yards. Everything is looking great when it comes to props. We have SGPs, whatever it might be. We are in for a great second half. 61.5 live total for this game. 49ers are 2.5-point favorites right now. Lions do get the ball coming out of halftime. As a reminder, I will be back at postgame to go over all of this, what happens in this game, and obviously we're going to continue to look at some of the lines for the upcoming week. I doubt there's any props posted on Monday night, but we can certainly dig into some games if there's been any line movement from yesterday when the lines first came out. We can go through all that. But right now, we are throwing it back to In-Game Live with Kevin, Donnie, and Joe. They will take you through everything. Second half kickoff is about to be here. So again, 49ers over the Lions right now, 21-13. Lions get the ball to start the second half. We are in for a great second half. Plenty of scoring. Stay tuned here on In-Game Live coming up.
Welcome in. It's In-Game Live. It's Kevin Walsh, Donnie Rightside, and Joe Lisi, 21-13 at the break. Yeah.
Look at him. Look at him coming out.
That's it. We eat iron and we crap steel. That's it.
Well,
this is it.
First of all,
God, you were saying now.
I don't want to be.
Penai Sewell is back in the game as he starts the second half.
I don't want to be mean.
Yeah.
But as a beat reporter,
yes,
you have one job when you see Campbell at half.
Yeah.
Hey, starter's going to stay in the whole way?
Yeah.
Instead, we heard about grit, toughness, and a whole lot of other stuff that just does not matter.
Get out of bounds.
That matters.
One bit.
Whoa.
What did you got?
St. Brown for 50.
Cheer your bets on, Joe.
He's hurt.
Let me just
Gimpy? Little Gimp?
Let me just tell you this. The Detroit Lions are now doing one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in my entire time watching football.
Yeah.
And it's indefensible. It's actually fireable, quite frankly. They won't.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for anybody who has to try and stick up for this. I feel bad for these players because so often, Donnie, you talk about they're being put in a position to lose by their coach.
Yes.
Well, they are.
He does it all the time.
They are absolutely being put in a position to lose now by Dan Campbell, and it's embarrassing to see.
Well, both of you bet Minnesota. You said you were going to go do it. Take Minnesota.
I didn't say I was. Donnie said he would, and Donnie will.
Oh, absolutely, I am.
But
look at this.
Again, Lisi, look, Amon-Ra St. Brown's hobbling, and he's still out there playing.
Good.
This is pathetic.
Needs 50.
This is
I thought he had 50
embarrassing.
already.
No, he had 37.
Come on.
Or maybe he's up to 40 now.
This is so embarrassing. I cannot believe that this is actually how an NFL team
they play football.
is approaching this.
They play football.
And might.
That's it.
That's a shame, man. This team had real promise. Look how injured he is.
Hanged up for next week.
Amon-Ra is not even healthy, and he's on the field right now.
There you go. Tough. It's tough.
Grit.
Detroit tough.
Losing. They're losing.
He's
They're
fine.
losing. They're losing.
Through some ligaments.
In the heart of winter, when nights grow long, we come together under these lights. A team, united by purpose. Fans bound by passion. Each holding a small flicker of hope in their hands. At SportsGrid, we believe that even the darkest nights can't dim the unity we share. One team, one stadium, one shining moment. This holiday season, we shine brighter together. Happy Hanukkah from all of us at SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
He's blocked well and tries to cut through the middle. Oh!
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, we're back with you right here on In-Game Live, and the drive continues. for the Detroit Lions and their starters. Allen Robinson, though, with the signing, Donnie, puts them inside the 20-yard line.
Yeah, looking like they're going to try to tie this football game up, play it all the way through. You see that clock? 10:41, 10:40, 10:39. It's getting closer to the next game, which is played Sunday Night Football.
That's it.
Should be resting at this point, no?
Minnesota.
Yeah, this is embarrassing.
Are you going to come over to my side when I've been crushing Dan Campbell for 2 years? You on my side now?
Yeah, no, I'm gone.
We got teammates.
Because here's why, Donnie.
Yes.
The decisions that he was making, I agreed with.
Yes.
And I thought he understood the decisions he was making.
Yes.
He doesn't.
Yeah.
He doesn't understand them at all. He's aggressive to be aggressive. He is more stubborn than he is tough.
Mm-hmm.
And he is putting his team in a losing situation.
Yes.
Again, keep in mind, they are losing right now to a 6-9 football team.
Mm-hmm.
They cannot stop a nosebleed. If they lose this game, they go into Minnesota at a deficit with everything on the line. If they lose that game, they fall to the 5 seed, where they then have to win 3 consecutive games, all likely on the road, just to get to the Super Bowl. But hey, maybe Aiden Hutchinson will be back. You know what we should also do? Have 11-on-11 scrimmages the whole way to make sure Hutchinson's ready to go and well-tested.
That's it. Check out the leg. Sweep the leg. There it is, Laporta.
Touchdown.
All right.
That busts the parlay right there, doesn't it?
There we
I don't
go.
think so.
No?
What parlay?
Oh, no. Third catch?
Yeah.
Oh,
Sam
all right.
Laporta with the
we
touchdown
got
there. Here comes the 2-point conversion and what really should be the last play for these starters. But, you want to end it on a positive note?
I think they're going the whole way.
I'll be honest with you guys.
Yes.
I want to make this clear. I am not holding out hope because of any wagers I have.
Yes.
They are what they are. I am holding out hope because I can't actually accept one of the NFL's best head coaches is this dumb.
He's not, though.
I can't.
I love his
accept
concepts. They're tough because he is there. But in the biggest moments, he is going to cost your football team immensely, and he's doing it tonight. This team should be fresh. If you wanted to say, you know what, I want them to understand they're playing in this football game. I'm going to play them a couple drives. Let's get a touchdown. I want to play through the half. That's fine. They're going to go 60 minutes in a shootout game on the West Coast when they have the biggest game in their franchise's history on deck next week. It's crazy to watch it play out. And this coming from, well, you're hating on him. Now, I don't like him as a head coach because I don't like the in-game decisions he makes. But I do have one team with 13 tickets to win the NFC, and you see me furious, not celebrating how much grit they have in a tie game on the road. It's crazy.
So if they go out next week and they win, then what?
Nothing.
Nothing. Zero.
Nothing.
Yeah, it doesn't even prove anything.
Nothing, Joe.
Yeah. I'm just saying that's.
Well, they never would have beat Minnesota unless they played against the 49ers.
Nothing.
I'm just saying he doesn't care about the critics. He's going to coach the team his way, and he doesn't listen to anybody else.
Okay.
And that's what, love him or hate him, that's who he is. And that's the team and their identity.
But I don't hate, again, he has a lot of positive points here. Detroit was a dead-in-the-water franchise, and he brought them back. Love aggressiveness because as a team total guy, a prop guy, he goes for on 4th down a lot, and it does make sense at times. But there are moments where he lets his pride get in the way. The Dallas game, was it last year?
Where he went for
and then
2 or 3
also,
times.
Exactly. In the NFL, and I say this and I'm honest, Detroit would have a Super Bowl trophy in their case if he wasn't so boneheaded about that 49ers. They'd have a Super Bowl trophy.
24-7 first half lead, without a doubt. You have a double-digit lead. You're supposed to win that game going away. He didn't do it. But again, he also said they're going to go full throttle ahead from the start of the year to the end. He didn't think, and he told the team at the end of that loss last year, it's going to be very difficult for us to get back to an NFC championship. They've played hungry. He's coached great for the most part, right? There hasn't been any tail off. And again, I think if I was him, and I know his style is this is the way we play. We go all in. There's no half-assed in terms of anything, and that's just the way they are. You can argue they'll be rested. He can argue, all right, we wanted the reps.
Great. So then what he should also do is tell Goff, hey, when we play Minnesota, drop back, throw it right to Bynum. We don't want the 1 seed. We can't have the bye week. But he would never do that because that would be so dumb. He would never. Lisi, This is indefensible. I appreciate you're trying to get inside his mind. Respectfully, I don't need you to. I know what he's thinking.
Yeah.
And it's dumb thinking. Somebody can explain to me why they do something, and it can still be dumb. This is dumb. We'll be right back.